Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An arrangement of parts or elements. The outcome depends on the configuration of influences at the time. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. An arrangement of parts or elements. A configuration of stars as seen from the Earth. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Acting according to certain accepted standards. A symmetrical arrangement of the parts of a thing. A line drawn on a map connecting points of equal height. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. A feature, or the order or arrangement of features, of anything having a complex structure. The contours of the melody. Form the contours of. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. The composition presents problems for students of musical form. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. The inflected forms of a word can be represented by a stem in a list of inflections to be attached. Make something, usually for a specific function. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Establish or impress firmly in the mind. A body of students who are taught together. Create, as an entity. Social groups form everywhere. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. Sculpture as a form of art. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. Develop into a distinctive entity. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. To compose or represent. This wall forms the background of the stage setting. Give shape or form to. Form the young child's character. Physical chemistry. A distinct state of matter in a system. Matter that is identical in chemical composition and physical state and separated from other material by the phase boundary. A mold for setting concrete. They built elaborate forms for pouring the foundation. An ability to perform well. He was at the top of his form. An arrangement of the elements in a composition or discourse. The essay was in the form of a dialogue. A particular mode in which something is manifested. His resentment took the form of extreme hostility. A printed document with spaces in which to write. He filled out his tax form. Assume a form or shape. The water formed little beads. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. Make something, usually for a specific function. Shape a figure. A concrete representation of an otherwise nebulous concept. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. He could barely make out their shapes. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. Shape or influence. Give direction to. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. Geometry is the mathematical science of shape. The supreme headquarters that advises NATO on military matters and oversees all aspects of the Allied Command Europe. Give shape or form to. Shape the dough. An arrangement scheme. A plan for seating guests. Scale drawing of a structure. The plans for City Hall were on file. Make or work out a plan for, devise. Plan an attack. Make a design of. Plan out in systematic, often graphic form. Plan the new wing of the museum. A series of steps to be carried out or goals to be accomplished. They drew up a 6-step plan. Have the will and intention to carry out some action. He plans to be in graduate school next year. Make plans for something. He is planning a trip with his family. Something intended as a guide for making something else. A decorative or artistic work. The coach had a design on the doors. An arrangement scheme. The awkward design of the keyboard made operation difficult. An anticipated outcome that is intended or that guides your planned actions. He made no secret of his designs. The creation of something in the mind. Make or work out a plan for, devise. Design a new sales strategy. The act of working out the form of something, as by making a sketch or outline or plan. He contributed to the design of a new instrument. Make a design of. Plan out in systematic, often graphic form. Design a better mousetrap. A preliminary sketch indicating the plan for something. The design of a building. Conceive or fashion in the mind, invent. She designed a good excuse for not attending classes that day. Create designs. DuPont designs for the House of Chanel. Create the design for. Create or execute in an artistic or highly skilled manner. Chanel designed the famous suit. Intend or have as a purpose. She designed to go far in the world of business. Plan something for a specific role or purpose or effect. This room is not designed for work. Any property relating to or occupying space. Any property relating to or occupying space. Psychology. The configuration of smaller units of information into large coordinated units. Conversion of an investment trust into a unit investment trust. The act of packaging cargo into unit loads. Psychology. The configuration of smaller units of information into large coordinated units. The joint development of a petroleum resource that straddles territory controlled by different companies. The branch of pure mathematics that deals only with the properties of a figure x that hold for every figure into which x can be transformed with a one-to-one correspondence that is continuous in both directions. The study of anatomy based on regions or divisions of the body and emphasizing the relations between various structures, muscles and nerves and arteries etc., in that region. The configuration of a communication network. Topographic study of a given place, especially the history of the place as indicated by its topography. Greenland's topology has been shaped by the glaciers of the Ice Age. The attribute of being superfluous and unneeded. The use of industrial robots created redundancy among workers. Electronics. A system design that duplicates components to provide alternatives in case one component fails. Repetition of an act needlessly. Repetition of messages to reduce the probability of errors in transmission. The configuration of a communication network. Conversion of an investment trust into a unit investment trust. The act of packaging cargo into unit loads. Psychology. The configuration of smaller units of information into large coordinated units. The joint development of a petroleum resource that straddles territory controlled by different companies. A positive feeling of wanting to push ahead with something. A quick and penetrating intelligence. I admired the keenness of his mind. Thinness of edge or fineness of point. The property of having lobules. Becoming gradually narrower. Of circumstances, tending to constrict freedom. A decrease in width. An instance of becoming narrow. The act of making something narrower. The quality of being deceitful and underhanded. A tortuous and twisted shape or position. Having or distinguished by crooks or curves or bends or angles. The property possessed by a convex shape. A shape that curves or bulges outward. The property possessed by a convex shape. The fullness of a tone of voice. There is a musky roundness to his wordiness. The bodily property of being well-rounded. The property possessed by a line or surface that is curved and not angular. The quality of being round numbers. He gave us the results in round numbers, but their roundness didn't affect the point he was making. The attribute of urgency in tone of voice. The quality of being sharp and clear. A strong odor or taste property. The sharpness of strange spices. Harshness of manner. A quick and penetrating intelligence. Thinness of edge or fineness of point. The quality of being keenly and painfully felt. The sharpness of her loss. A sexual attraction to, or sexual relations with, persons of the opposite sex. Trueness of course toward a goal. Having honest intentions. Freedom from crooks or curves or bends or angles. Of hair, lack of a tendency to curl. The condition of being arranged in social strata or classes within a group. A layered configuration. Forming or depositing in layers. The act or process or arranging persons into classes or social strata. The placing of seeds in damp sand or sawdust or peat moss in order to preserve them or promote germination. Precise detailed study of the surface features of a region. The configuration of a surface and the relations among its man-made and natural features. A shape that curves or bends inward. The property possessed by a concave shape. The property possessed by a concave shape. Without sharpness or clearness of edge or point. The quality of being direct and outspoken. The property possessed by a concave shape. The property possessed by a concave shape. Without sharpness or clearness of edge or point. The quality of being direct and outspoken. The property possessed by a concave shape. The quality of being direct and outspoken. 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 The quality of being direct The bluntness of a Yorkshireman. A shape having one or more sharp angles. The property possessed by a shape that has angles.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.